Hello, we're the League of Imaginary Scientists.
The League of Imaginary Scientists on board the Irish rover. Lovely weather, isn't it? This is a question the Irish have been asking a lot recently, as strange occurrences in the weather have brought sunshine to a winter day. Circumnavigating Iceland's volcano cloud, the League of Imaginary Scientists arrived from all parts of the world and embarked on a lovely weather expedition on board the Irish rover. They traveled to County Donegal. Their mission? To find Mars off the coast of Ireland.
I'm looking for Mars.
And Martians.
I think I found them.
All right, Earth. See ya. Blast off. See ya.
They ultimately landed on the Red Planet on a tiny dot in Mulroy Bay. County Donegal's Island Roy is the new Mars.
One of our friends phoned us and asked us, had the Martians arrived yet? So we knew nothing about it and went and got the papers then, and that was it. So.
Facing climactic climate change, the League questions whether this small island in Ireland could ever become Mars, or are these seemingly oppositional climates merely links on the chain of climate change?
The question is whether Mulroy Bay is anything like Mars.
Closest thing you get to space without being there.
So the first time I went to Mars, I didn't know what to expect. And then got a feel for what it was like on the surface, and then when we did our third dive and noticed the parallels and the contours of the ocean floor.
It's green here, we have rain, we have wind, it's an active place.
Mars is a pretty inactive planet at this point. Looking at it, there's almost no atmosphere, it's full of carbon dioxide, and nothing's growing, nothing's really alive there.
This year's winter conditions in Ireland were far from normal, with visible changes in ocean conditions measured by League scientists. While Earth seems light years away from the planet Mars, the cold carbon dioxide atmosphere of Mars looms large on the distant horizon.
This wee island in Mulroy Bay is the namesake of what might be an island on Mars. We don't know if there was islands on Mars, but there seems like there was an ocean, and one big question for us in Donegal is whether our bay might look like Mars in the future.
If we look in the distant past of Mars, it had a lot of things in common with this place. It had volcanoes, it had a thick atmosphere, it was probably much warmer than it is now.
Could such radical change take billions of years, or mere moments? The League's quest for Mars landed them on Island Roy. Navigable by foot, the island is a climate clock in its own right, since the island becomes unreachable with extreme tides.
That's a map of Island Roy. And where we were earlier was, where I took you over to see it, was over here. Right here, and you were looking, and there's two more wee islands out here. That's where we are now, just up above the bridge looking out over it.
The League embarked on the Irish rover to see how the region interacts with the ocean, to look into the future of Earth, and to view the distant past of Mars.
The scientists are looking at the water conditions here in Mulroy Bay.
Using ultra-scientific probes, heat spectrometers, and underwater optical devices, the League's imaginary scientists examined local water conditions.
So it looks like we have a reading here of about 1.21 milligrams per liter of phosphate.
The League's underwater division searched the depths of Mulroy Bay for Martian conditions and Martians of any kind.
So the idea is to see, by looking at the top versus the bottom, how quickly the ocean is replenishing itself. Things are coming from the surface, like light, heat, rain, evaporation also happens at the surface. How is that communicated down to the deeper waters? It tells us something about how the climate in general communicates with the deep ocean.
On land, armed with a hammer, a magnifying glass, and a sharp eye, Dr. Jacques uncovered the rocky remains of local geological events. Meanwhile, the tireless Mars rover Opportunity searched long and hard for what would soon be Ireland on Mars.
On Mars, we're using the same ideas that we do on Earth with these rovers, trying to unlock the secrets of past Martian climates. Over here, we had like a beach, and over just a little bit farther, it was where the actual water was.
And on the 2,363rd Martian day, or Sol, of the Mars rover mission, after months of traversing the bleak Mars terrain, NASA's Mars rover finally came across an iron meteor. This significant rock is now known as Ella Rua. Why, you ask, did Island Roy become the famed island on Mars? Ask a local.
Rua meaning red, And this island of Island Roy is now to be twinned with an island on the red planet.
Locals are hard to come by, however, since there are only 14 inhabitants on Elarua in Ireland, and we have not yet encountered the inhabitants of Elarua on Mars.
So examining the concentration of these minerals on Earth and in Mars will give us a good indication of the past and future of microbiological colonization of these distant planets.
After looking long and hard at rocks and scouring the sea, the League of Imaginary Scientists have determined the quicker transition to a Mars climate is expatriation.
Who knows, we might want to move to Mars. We just have to decide which habitat we like best.
Blast off.
Who will want to go to Mars, you ask? All of the school children in Lifford are at least considering it, some enthusiastically.
Maybe our whole house on Mars would be something we wear.
These young minds are hard at work designing new modes of living in extreme conditions on Mars and future Earth. Lovely weather, isn't it?
My house collapsed because of the meteor shower.
Sort of.
Over under.
Ready for our
Copy that.